as a fellow big-chested individual, you and DC share common traits.
No, most of yeah.
Have you ever been so
being
excited?
part of the titty
titty committee? Have you ever been so excited that you were nipple covers, pasties, whatever have you before a fight?
Never. No. And I don't think I plan on ever doing something like that, and especially exposing it to the world. Like, what up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Brick Brother Podcast. Y'all know we back in. We staying consistent on the content, man, but we got some special hot stuff for y'all. But make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share this video, man, because I don't think anybody want to miss out on it. Let's go.
All right, as we were discussing just a little before, UFC 313 just happened over the weekend. You said you didn't watch all of it, but I'm sure you got to see some of the big moments.
Man, I couldn't lock in, bro. ESPN was bullshitting, dog. So, I was trying to watch the fights. Only fights that I got to watch was on the prelims, right? So the prelims was dope, you know what I mean? Had a lot of dope fights on there. Got to see Alex Morono go out there, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, he didn't get the win, whatever, but, got to see a lot of, good fights, you know what I mean, happen on the prelims. But unfortunately, yeah, man, I wasn't able to tap in on the pay-per-view. I was trying to call ESPN, help support, but then they didn't put us through a motherfucking podcast with DC and Chael, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, like, oh, man, this fight is going to be dope. Alex Pereira, Magomedov. I'm like, yeah, I ain't trying to hear none of that, bro. I'm trying to watch the fight. So, unfortunately, man, because technical difficulties, I couldn't watch it. If I had one of them links, you got that link, right? You got that link?
Allegedly, I might know a couple links.
You sent it to my ass so I can watch.
Well, you should have allegedly texted me and said you needed a link. But anyway, UFC 313 over the weekend, we had the first of this year champions who got defeated, with Magomed Ankalaev defeating Alex Pereira.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you didn't see it, but you probably can.
Yeah, it's all on the screens, all on the news feeds, bro. People going crazy. But what I heard was, though, it wasn't really the type of fight that everybody was expecting, though, unfortunately. So can you break it down to me? What happened?
Yeah,
bro?
I'll give a good breakdown. So early in the fight, it seemed as if Alex Pereira was sticking to his early game plan of going to the leg kicks early, beating up the calf.
Mm-hmm.
Ankalaev was very patient. He didn't rush, and seemed like he was doing more activity with the hands and chasing him down. As the fight went on, it seemed as if Alex Pereira was a bit gun-shy. Ankalaev wasn't really able to get a bunch of takedowns, but he was able to clinch him up. And then in the boxing department, he had a lot of success compared to Alex Pereira.
In the boxing?
Ankalaev. So I think in the first round, Ankalaev, the strike count was a little even, but I would have given it to Pereira. But I don't think Pereira landed one face shot in the first round.
That's crazy. Well, hold on. And with you saying that, you saying he didn't successfully get a takedown? He didn't get a takedown?
No, never got a takedown.
But I heard that Pereira, he took him down. And when one of the last seconds, what happened?
So the bell was about to ring, and Ankalaev is kind of like letting go, and Pereira does sweep him at the last second. But,
do he hit his ass? Yes or no?
Yeah, he hit it.
Man, that's takedown, bro. That's it.
No cover and wrestling. That's I hate when they do that. Actually, when we call things a takedown, no cover. You got to control. But that's just me being technique. But no, I think it was a little controversy from some people. They thought that Pereira won. But my question is, if Pereira did what he normally does, we see people beat up, damaged. We saw what Khalil looked like after the fight, right?
Man, terrible.
Right? So if you honestly think Pereira won, then either Ankalaev has the greatest chin, he has the toughest skin that we ever seen,
right.
or Pereira just was a bit tentative.
Now, I got to see the numbers, right? Yet again, I cannot talk about this fight too much because I didn't watch anything, but what about the leg strikes? You wouldn't call that, significant? I feel like a lot of people said he landed a lot of leg kicks and everything.
Ankalaev landed more significant strikes, and most of the significant strikes Pereira landed were to the leg. Pereira landed some jabs. He got a high kick, I think, in the 5th round, and he landed a real good hook, I think, in the 5th round too, but the moments were fleeting. Where Ankalaev honestly had Pereira racked, I want to say it was the 2nd or 3rd round. I don't remember exactly. And then he landed a lot of boxing combinations. He landed, he was going to the body, coming up top, landing 1-2s, landing crossing hooks. Honestly, the reason why I think Pereira lost the fight, he was on the back foot the whole time. He was never advancing. He wasn't really throwing anything. And maybe Pereira thought that Ankalaev was just going to shoot, but he really didn't. He didn't really go to the wrestling to the 2nd and 3rd round, well, really to the 3rd and 4th round. And I think that Ankalaev was very patient. He used his hands. He made Pereira constantly on the back foot. one thing that we know about Alex Pereira, he doesn't necessarily fight, very circuitous. You know, he fights in a linear fashion, right? And Ankalaev just kept him on his back foot, and whenever he would try to go forward, Ankalaev would just kind of get out the way and go back to the boxing, and Pereira would stick with the kicks. And Ankalaev even would get to the point where, you know, he would time a kick and then land a good cross over the top, and I think that's really where the fight was played. And then when a lot of people thought it was pretty close, I tend to lean towards the advancing party. If somebody's constantly going backwards and they're just landing kicks, and somebody's doing the same kind of strike output, but they're landing to the face. I know leg kicks hurt, I know calf kicks hurt, but obviously we talk about damage. Damage to the face is the most traumatic that we experience, right?
Right.
9 times out of 10.
I seen Shama do his little post, you know what I mean, about the fight afterwards. But you saw he was bruised up a little bit. He was touched up. And it looked like Ankalaev was touched at all on the face.
Not
right?
really.
So just looking from just a perspective where I didn't watch the fight, it looked like Alex Pereira got touched up.
One thing I'll say, too, after the fight, Ankalaev looked pretty proud of his performance. Pereira looked like he knew he lost. I think if we're being extremely lenient to Pereira, I could see 3-2, but I also could see a world where it was 4-1. The round that everybody says was really close, it was, but Pereira just didn't have a lot of moments to the face. I think it's really hard to win a fight going backwards and with leg kicks. That's really difficult to beat somebody when they're constantly tying you up, when they're punching you in the face. You know, when you think about the big moment Pereira had, like I said, I think it was in the 5th round, he landed a good head kick, had Ankalaev on, wobbly legs.
Stilts.
Yep. He landed a good hook, I want to say. And, you know, he had Ankalaev retreating. But it just wasn't a lot of that. I think the moments were few and far between. I don't know if Pereira had an injury. I don't know if he was worried about his gas tank, but he just wasn't the initiating party. He was afraid to come. Well, I won't say afraid. He was tentative. He didn't look like he was comfortable going forward. And we don't usually see that out of him. So I think from activity, from landing more strikes to the face. And one of the things that bugged me in the fight that you see some of the commentators talking about, they're impressed with Alex Pereira's defense. But at the same point in time, not getting taken down isn't doing anything. That's preventing somebody from getting to the offense. Right. But that's not you being effective.
With you saying that too, it seemed like, because all I did was look at the numbers, the cage control from Ankalaev was something crazy, like whole round.
He did.
Like that's why
he did.
Right? So what kind of defense is that? Even though you don't get taken down to the mat, you still getting control. So yeah, you got to definitely fix that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that was the thing that really changed the course of the fight. Him not really landing to the face, him not really having big moments, him retreating and not advancing as much as we're used to seeing him, and just kind of landing kicks to the body or kicks to the face. I think that ultimately is what led him to that loss. Dana spoke about them potentially running back. I think
they should.
I'll be intrigued. Yeah, that does open me to my next. So you didn't watch it, but from what I explained, do you understand how the judges kind of got to the spot they got to?
No, it makes perfect sense. He controlled the whole fight, right? The situation from it. And now you're saying he outstriked them too? It's kind of crazy.
I think it was significant strikes. Don't hold me to it, like 87, 78 or something like that. It wasn't the widest difference. Maybe even 94, 78 or something. Right. But if you think about, if Pereira does what he normally does, you see somebody with marks on their face, you see them beat up, and you see them knocked out. He wasn't able to anybody, I think.
You think it was all them TikTok videos he was making in Miami? With Tammy in Miami?
You know what is crazy? I don't know if he took him as seriously. I really don't. I think he thought him being able to stop takedowns and his striking prowess. Because honestly, Pereira got beat on the feet. I saw your video with Reggie, you talking about keys to victories, don't strike with him. That's what Ankalaev did for the majority of the fight. He didn't really switch to the wrestling to the 3rd and 4th round.
Right.
I think he tried to wear him down and thought he would be able to get him in the later rounds.
Right.
To Pereira's credit, he wasn't able to do that at all successfully. But it was a striking fight. It was a very boring, slow, methodical kind of kickboxing match. That's what it was. And when Pereira looked to land his kicks, Ankalaev looked to go to the hands mostly. Land teeps up the middle. He was honestly, I landed him on the feet. And, Pereira was able to kind of change the course of the 5th round, but that was it. So I would give maybe 1 in 5 Pereira, but I think that's still being lenient for that 5th.
Yeah, Shama got to lock in on the gym, man. Stop playing, bro.
So you are...
I'm dead ass.
So, no, I agree. So you would be interested in the rematch potentially?
I would be. Well, star power is everything, right? What other name that comes up to the top of your mind that you want to see fight for the belt next, right? Is it Yuri? No, not for real. You know what I'm saying? Is it Jan Blachowicz? No, not for real. Let's run it back. Let's see if it's for real, right? So Shama, you know what I'm saying? Get your ass, you know what I mean, off them press tours, you know, because he was traveling the world doing all this, right? You know, I think that could have caused definitely, you know what I'm saying, a part of why he lost, right? And the reason why you didn't see the same type of individual with the other fights because he was locked into the gym. So with all that being said, it's just like it's different when you put yourself in a situation where all you're doing is training and focusing on the fight, bro. And obviously it's shown with Ankalaev because he wasn't partying, doing presses or nothing. He was stuck in extreme couture, putting that work in all day.
Right, I agree. Wrapping up this fight, pre-fight, just a small blip or whatever you saw. Well, I don't know if you know. Let me ask you, did you see Daniel Cormier, his excitement? I'm not sure it lived up to that type of excitement. He said he was extremely excited to watch Alex Pereira fight. So much that he unbuttoned his shirt and he had covers over his nipples. I don't know if you call them pasties, whatever you call them. I'm not really well versed in my
DC going wild.
Pretty much.
DC going wild. I didn't get to see the video, but I saw the picture. I thought it was AI. I thought it was fake. But everybody said, no, that was him. That was him out there shaking them money makers.
Him and Laura Senko talking, yeah.
I really don't know what to make of that. And what to say about that. I really don't have nothing to say about that.
No comments?
It's not just no comment, but it's just...
As a fellow big-chested individual, you and DC share a common trait.
No, most of yeah.
Have you ever been so
being
excited?
Part of the titty
titty committee? Have you ever been so excited that you wore nipple covers, pasties, whatever have you before a fight?
Never. No. And I don't think I plan on ever doing something like that, and especially exposing it to the world. Like, if I'm gonna do some freak ass shit like that, it's gonna be in the bedroom, and ain't none of y'all gonna know about it. All right, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be
I respect that.
But regardless, though, yeah, that's some wild shit, bro. But you know, shout out to DC though, man. You know what I mean? Keep getting them numbers up, dog.
Right?
Keep getting them numbers.
That's what's up. Moving forward, Justin Gaethje took on Rafael Fiziev in their rematch. I guess you weren't able to watch the fight, but were you surprised by the outcome? And if not, do you think that maybe the 7-day Rafael Fiziev taking on 7 days probably impacted the fight?
Of course.
And just kind of your overall sentiments of what
the fight. Just at the end of the day, right? When you got a great fighter like Justin Gaethje who locked in for war, that's been training this whole time, that's gonna be a hard mountain to climb, bro. When you talking about on 7 days. Whatever, notice. Or what was it? Actually, was it 7 days?
I think it was 7. I think he took it on.
Either way, you know.
I think he officially accepted
right.
7 days.
Right. So Dan Hooker was supposed to be the original opponent, right? He had a broken hand in the first place. But, you know, with Rafael Fiziev, he looked like he was in great shape, but it's just, yet again, bro, it's just like if you're not in fight shape, because being in shape and being in fight shape is two different things, right? And especially if you go into war with a person like Justin Gaethje, and he knows that, right? Because they've been in a fight before where, you know, Justin Gaethje won that one as well. So he was dealing with a lot, but I heard it was a great fight. You know, they both won fight of the night. You know, they both got $50K for their performances, man. So, you know, it is what it is. But I feel like, you know, it's very well known that, you know, if you're not in the best shape in the world to become a world champion, it's probably not the best move to take that fight, you know. Your potential to win in that fight is probably very small.
Got you. Well, somebody like yourself has taken fights on short notice. So.
But I was fight ready because I would say that right now, right? Since you're already saying that. Every fight that I've taken short notice, I've always been preparing myself for that fight.
Of course.
Even if it's not for that person, I was always preparing myself for every situation to be ready, right?
Towards
but if they call me right now, hey, Buck, you fight Bilal right now. Like, shit. I could say yes, but the thing is, what's the probability of me winning, right? Are you going to be ready for that?
True. So, no, I was just saying it's interesting to hear actual perspective for somebody who has been in what it takes to be ready for it.
Right. Because it's a scope, right? Yeah. People don't look at it as if, you know, the preparation and the training matters. They just like, are you ready for the fight, right? And that's the only thing that I hate. A lot of guys will bash you if you don't take that last-minute opportunity, right? But it's just like, why do it at the last minute when we can have actual preparation, both of us, right, to make sure that this performance in this fight is one of the best things seen? Because I love it when fighters be like, oh, he was scared to fight me. Like, no, nigga, you only gave me 7 days to prepare. Like, what the fuck is going on? You give me 7 weeks, nigga, right? And it's not about being scared or nothing like that, but fight me at my best, you know?
It's a sport, right? It's a sport. As much as a fight, too, it's a sport as well. You guys are professional athletes. You train to get a job done. Not that everything has to be perfect, but you want to be somewhere within your scope to be ready for a certain opponent. And I think sometimes that gets devalued. But with that being said, I want to give Justin Gaethje credit for winning, but let me give Rafael Fiziev a lot of love for the way he handled himself in that fight. For you to take a fight on 7 days' notice shows what type of character and how much of a real fighter you are. That's number one. But when you want to fight somebody, and you probably could speak to this, in a rematch, somebody you already lost to, it was very close the first time. I think 5 strikes separated both fights. An average of 5 strikes separate winner from loser. If you think about it, that's how close it was. For you to do that on 7 days' notice shows how tough and how much you believe in yourself. And for him to get dropped early in the fight, for him to continue to deliver damage.
I heard that uppercut was nasty.
It was very slick setup too, because Gaethje kept ducking, and Fiziev ducks to land his own uppercut. Justin bumps, taps the head, throws an uppercut on the other side. Very slick setup. But for him to do that, I give him a lot of credit. I think the world as much as it is a loss, that's not really a loss in my eyes.
It's sad. No, that's a loss, nigga. That's
No.
L, right?
No. My point is, most people are not going to be successful, and for you to make it that competitive on 7 days' notice,
I got you.
He came with a different strategy. Gaethje even said he came with a different strategy than he did before. He went to takedowns early in the fight. He had a lot of success. He had. I'm
glad you're saying that, right? Well, if you're doing stuff like that, you're gonna have to make adjustments, right?
He did, yeah,
exactly. So
he wasn't successful,
right? But regardless, though, you more successful.
Yeah,
right?
it was a good fight.
Because you made those adjustments, right? Because knowing that I'm not in the best shape, so I might have to take this fight in a different type of way and use different tactics, right, to allow this fight to be a lot more exciting, because if he probably came out the same way he did in that first fight where he was in shape, but, he took a lot of damage, Justin probably would have got him out of there in the first round, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. And the fact that he got dropped as bad as he did and him not necessarily probably being in the greatest shape that he would be when he fights shape, for him to get back up and then make it competitive for the rest of the rounds, I think I probably had the fight score, 29-28. I think it was a unanimous decision for Justin. I think I gave Fiziev 1 round. But for him to even have that amount of success and the strike total be that close, it looked like in the third round, Fiziev started off doing his thing and possibly gonna win the fight. And Justin Gaethje seemed to have more cardio than him in the second half of the third round. It seemed like Fiziev probably put everything into that first half of the round and wasn't able to really push for the end. And, Gaethje took advantage. Not Gaethje's fault. When somebody decides to take the fight, it doesn't matter why they're not able to perform up to their abilities. Right. And we don't know even if that's the case. Even if Fiziev has 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months, 10 weeks to prepare, rather, will he be able to do that? So I'm going to what ifs, but I just have a lot of credit for Fiziev for being able to respond as well as he did to adversity.
Well,
but
shout out to him.
With that being said, what's next for Justin Gaethje? What do you think that he mentioned he has no desire in Dustin Poirier for Dustin's retirement fight? He said he doesn't want to do it to their families. He said they already been through it twice. They won in one. We just call it even. Right. He mentioned a potential matchup with Islam. That still excites him. What do you think is the next for Justin Gaethje?
I think that's a beautiful fight, right? Allowing him to fight for the belt against Islam, right? How that fight go, right? That's a whole nother conversation. But I would love for Justin Gaethje to go ahead and run into that belt, because he been one of those top fighters for the longest time. Only fought for the belt. Once or twice? He got the interim.
Once against
Habib. All right, but never again, though, right? So yeah.
No. Did he fight Oliveira for the belt?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so he got a second opportunity.
Well, this be the third. You know what I'm saying? So third opportunity, man, to fight for a belt. I think it'll be an intriguing matchup between both of them. I like Justin Gaethje, man, and what he's been doing lately. And I'm sure he didn't change some things up, ever since he lost to, Charles Oliveira and Habib. So, I'm sure he could put up a better, competition than, what he did with those other 2 guys with Islam.
I think if I'm him, I'm taking a different perspective. I'm begging for a fight with Arman Sarukian. You already have Islam and Topuria supposed to meet up for their fight. And if I'm him, I don't want to wait. Lightweight has been so competitive in anything that could happen. You see, which we're going to get to in a little bit, Mauricio Ruffy kind of coming into play and all these guys. It just seems like if Paddy Pimblett beats Dustin Poirier, if that goes on to happen, we don't know what's going to happen. So for him, I think he's number 3 in the world. I would try to do whatever I can to make sure I make my imprint, because you don't know what's going to happen in the next 4, 5, 6 months. I don't think that he's done enough definitively over Charles Oliveira, over Arman Tsarukyan, just to leapfrog after. No, but listen.
I ain't saying that.
After Islam fights Ilia Topuria, I don't know if that's the case. If I'm him, I would not feel comfortable. Being number 3, you beat a guy who was ranked number 11. Does that move you necessarily? And he took it on short notice.
I'm not gonna say.
I don't know if that moves the needle enough.
You deserve it, right? But I think because of who you are, your fighting style, it's gonna always sell.
Oh, it's gonna be a banger.
It's always gonna be a sell. So that regardless of anything, that's why exactly. If I'm Justin Gaethje, I'm pushing for that belt. I ain't fucking harming so he can throw his back out again, right? And then with the Charles Oliveira, well, you already seen what happened with that fight. So my thing is, just be that new blood. Islam never fought you, right? You never fought Islam, so just be that new fresh name, and you always know it's gonna sell. You always know it's gonna sell.
And one thing I say, I love the mentality, because I think at the presser, he said somebody offered him a donut. He said, "Nah, I got to run tomorrow. I'm getting ready for Islam." So he has that mindset.
So it's already in his head. See, I didn't know that.
He has that mindset, which I respect. But if I'm Trevor Whitman, right, that's his coach, I'm gonna say to him, if we don't, I like the mindset. If we don't, we gotta take whatever. We gotta make sure we do our part, because Justin's getting older. I think he's 36, maybe 37. We can't wait 6 months on the shelf. You know how like some guys will sit and wait and be like, "Oh, okay, I just wait till the division settles." I don't think he has that kind of time.
I think he do though, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, because it's who he is, right? If anything, the UFC gonna rush that, right? Now I don't know, because the thing is,
you see Michael Chandler. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know, but Islam not Conor.
No. I understand that.
So no. But that's the reason why that fight never happened, because Conor was never coming back. Islam would be more than happy to have a Justin Gaethje, right?
He fight Gaethje.
In my personal opinion, he would take a Justin Gaethje over Topuria.
I agree.
He would, right?
No, I agree. I agree with that.
And my thing is, Topuria gotta work. Prove that you a 155.
Nah, he ain't got to work at all. They talking about that fight is already.
He gotta prove you can even handle 155, bro.
We gonna discuss it, but he finna get it.
Get his man.
He already vacated his belt.
I don't care who.
He got the lottery ticket. We gonna talk about it.
Who Patty's supposed to fight next? It's Michael Chandler, right?
Yeah.
Patty, get Chandler out of there. If I'm Patty, I'm calling for Topuria.
We gonna discuss it.
No, we discussing right now.
No, we gonna discuss it. Anyway.
Always breaking me down, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this shit out, dog.
In another fight, we had Ignacio Bahamondes. He defeated Jalen Turner. Very interesting fight. I know you say you didn't really get to watch.
I couldn't watch none.
I don't know if you saw any highlights or anything, but it was a grappling match. For them to be as great on the feet and as accomplished as they are at the strikers, we thought we were going to see a kickboxing match.
Yeah, well, you could always call it the best, man. Strikers turn to grapplers, grapplers turn to the strikers when they meet each other, bro. Crazy.
I looked down for 1 second, all of a sudden they're just on the ground. I literally don't even know what happened. I don't even know what was the sequence. I think Bahamondes initiated and Jalen Turner ended up on top. And then Bahamondes was working his guard, and people were surprised he wasn't trying to get up. I think his corners were yelling, get up, work to get to the fence, do all this and that. And he was able to get Jalen Turner in an armbar. So very surprising outcome, because I figured it was just somebody's going to get knocked out. Or it'd be a barn burner like Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. But for it to be a submission grappling match, that surprised the heck out of me.
What did Turner get caught with? I know he got finished, but what did he get?
Armbar.
So
it looked like
armbar, all things.
It looked like Ignacio Bahamondes was trying to set up a triangle. He switched from triangle to armbar. So he has really long legs. So it's kind of a hybrid. Him trying to fight that choke, him getting out of the choke, and then the armbar was still in there.
Yeah.
Jalen Turner after the fight put his gloves down. Looked at he was retiring. I think his coaches kind of tried to talk him out of it, tell him just kind of compose himself and relax.
Right.
What are your thoughts about that? Jalen Turner, somebody being 7'6" in the UFC. You've seen some of the brilliant performances of his, and then you see some of the performances where he seems like he's just can't get it figured out of what to do. What do you think about his retirement?
I don't know if it's official, right? I think he said he still needs some time to think about it, because I did watch that interview he had, and it was powerful. He was trying to hold back a lot of emotions, a lot of tears. And I can't speak about whatever was going on in his life and outside, noises and stuff like that, because he didn't speak on it. But regardless, man, it's tough being a UFC athlete, right? And dealing with ups and downs and trying to get to the highest point of becoming a world champion. And you gotta juggle all that with your life outside. So it's just like having those great performances, bro, and then having those those losses, having that all filter in where it's just like, is this sport still worth it, right? I don't know what Jalen Turner he making financially, none of that, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, it's just like you already know that if you not excelling on the winning side and you losing, right? You losing half a check, So financially, bro, things can be a little hazy, right? Things can become a lot difficult when you in a situation like that. And like I said, with being a fighter like Jalen, you know what I'm saying? It's hard because it's just like, I know how good I am, right? I know I put on great performances, you know what I'm saying? But like, I haven't seen the fruits of my labor, right? And that's the thing that kind of sucks. And I think a lot of fighters deal with that, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? So, with him thinking about retirement, hopefully he got, another plan, in place, to do different things and go for different ventures. But my thing is, it's just like, if you really feel like it's not worth it anymore, it's probably that time, because this is probably one of the most, not one of, it is the most dangerous game to be in if you're not all in. If you're not all in all day.
I agree. I think it's interesting. Jalen Turner is somebody I've heard people like Michael Bisping who are doing commentaries to speak about how talented he is, and you see the performances when he's on fire. They're perfect knockouts, and long legs can get those submissions, and just being explosive and as sharp as they come on the feet. I think one thing that people don't look at in these type of situations, when you're supposed to be more successful than what you are, and you're getting a mixed bag of results, sometimes that self-belief can waver a little bit. And Jalen Turner's 29. He has plenty of left fight in him, but you want to put yourself through that. You know how hard you prepared. You know you're doing the right things. You're still having a success in sparring. You're still beating up people. He was looking good in the fight, ends up getting caught in a submission. So I think athletes sometimes go like, what can I do to turn the tide? I'm doing everything right seemingly, but I'm not getting the success out of it. And I think if that's what he's battling, I think he should return. But if there's other things outside the cage that's really limiting him, whether it's personal issues, his body isn't responding to training, then I think that's different. But I think that he has plenty of fight left in the tank. I think sometimes great fighters go through periods where things just don't align with them. And you have to control the controllables. If you know you really are special and you really are a good fighter, you're hardworking, just got to see it through and things improve. I mean, you look at guys like Jan Blachowicz, who had a very rocky start. Merab Dvalishvili didn't have a great start in the UFC, and he's really turned it around. Dustin Poirier at 145, and then you see him at 155. I think that there's still light in the tunnel. He just has to decide if that's something he wants to do. Like I said, if health is an issue or factor, that's different. But if it's just strictly based off of the result, I think that then he should reconsider. But moving forward, Ignacio Bahamondes was the winner of the fight. What do you think was next for him? Do you think he deserves a big ranked opponent? What do you want from him?
Oh no, most of and he been on the radar for a minute, right? And to have this fight and to do that against a person like Jalen Turner, it's not an easy feat. So with that being said, definitely getting somebody in the ranked at 155, right? Like I said, bro, even though people always talk about 155 being as deep as it is, you got a lot of newcomers, man, that, like you said, Fluffy, himself, that can really make some noise and really kind of just put themselves in a position, right, to make their names. So, with that being said, man, I would love to see him fight, a highly ranked competitor and just a big name, and see where he go from there. Because, I train with them out there in Chicago, him and Bilal and stuff like that. So he real good people, and his striking, bro, is crazy work. I ain't gonna lie. So to see him up against a person like, what's a good name to put him up against right now?
I think the winner between...
So,
go ahead.
No. I'm trying to think. Actually, matter of fact, let me stop thinking and just put these names up real quick.
Yeah, no, I think somebody like... I think he's done enough to get someone. If Patty comes off a win, I think
Patty got Tapori. You trying to be slick, man? Hold on.
He said Patty had Tapori. No, Patty's supposed to be fighting Michael Chandler. But no, I think
once he spin around Michael Chandler, he gonna take on Tapori. We just gonna put that out there right now.
All right, you calling it into existence?
Yes, sir. Hold on, 155 lightweight rankings. There we go. Yeah, let's get these rankings going. All right.
You think him and Ruffy will be cool
Actually,
fight? I think that'd be a good fight too. I know who he called out. We'll get to it in a second, but
okay. That actually would be a nice
but
one.
But I think that makes a lot of sense for them too. I think that'd be a tough test for both.
But the thing is, though, I want to see both of them climb.
Go up, yeah,
before they even meet each other. But that would be a dope ass fight, though. Man, when they keep giving me pound for pound. All right, hold on 1 second. Cause I really do want to see what the lightweight division on right now. Back. Okay, boom. There we go. Okay. So we got Armin as number 1, Charles Oliveira as number 2. But let me get into like the 10 spot. So you got Morikano, a Raphael, even though he just lost,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Both of them guys.
That'd be a dope fight, and because now he just fought Jaden. I didn't know Turner was ranked.
Yeah,
so he's 13. So obviously,
13.
He is now ranked himself. So he'll probably be having that position. But yeah, Fiziev, Morikano, right? Yeah, one of them fights, you know what I'm saying? I think that'd be dope.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Then we had a fight with Amanda Lemos and then Yasmin Lucindo. I think I said that right. Not the most exciting fight.
What the females didn't put on?
No, it was a bit surprising. Amanda Lemos defeated Yasmin Lucindo. She was ranked 5th coming in, and Lucindo was ranked 7th. Amanda Lemos used a lot of grappling. Yasmin was good off her back and tried to, but ultimately, you know how the guard game kind of works in MMA today. Unless your jiu-jitsu is like amazing, it's just hard to get those submissions off your back. And it was just kind of a fight with a bunch of control, not the most action. It wasn't the most exciting fight, but somebody like Amanda Lemos who lost her last fight, you need to get back in the win column. So that's something that you do to make sure that you're successful by any means necessary. And it's okay.
That's what she did.
Yeah,
huh?
it's her.
But she be usually throwing on bangers though. She be throwing.
She's an exciting
hands.
fighter, and I think she's kind of had an up and down over the last 5 fights. I think she was now 3-2. But when you kind of 2-2 in your last 4, and you lost your last one, you want to make sure you get a victory. She's 37. Ranked number 5. Probably wants to get to that title shot, and she did what she had to do. I think that's Lucindo's first loss in the UFC too. So, you're going against somebody who's on the trajectory of up, and some people might look at you as going on the downslash. You want to make sure that you get that victory. But I can't lie, it wasn't the most exciting fight. I respect it. Sometimes, in your words, it's okay to be a booty warrior. You got to be.
Please, John.
You got to do what you got to do. So I wasn't mad at it, but it wasn't something I would go back and watch. Respect for her performance. You beating somebody who hasn't lost yet. And then, like I said, you trying to get to the trajectory of getting a strawweight title. That's something that you got to do sometimes. I guess questions for her. We'll move on because it really wasn't that much to dissect. Do you think that somebody like I just said it, Amanda Lemos, excuse me. I be getting her and Halle Berry mixed up too. If you ever seen that movie,
Halle Berry's crazy.
No. You ever watched the movie with her and Mark Wahlberg? Just Google it. We can do it while you're here. Just do. You'll see.
Look just like her.
That shit is crazy.
Okay.
But anyway, Amanda Lemos. Do you think somebody like her at the age of 37 that she can come get a title at strawweight? Being ranked number 5, just being a ranked opponent. You think she can get a fight or two and be successful, or what do you see what's going on with her next?
I don't follow these females, bro. We keep it a buck. Only 2 female fighters I follow, man, is Zhang and Valentina, bro. But regardless, like you said, she got that win. She just got to keep climbing that ladder, right? But you got to put on those type of performances that's going to lead you to that belt, because, being a booty warrior is cool and all. You get the wins real quick, but you know what I'm saying? They don't be trying to sell those fighters, right? It take you a good little minute. You got to get on a 10-fight winning streak, boy, before you get a title shot, especially if you want to go down that game plan.
Are you talking about with the women?
I think women or men, shit.
I think the one thing that benefits the women is there's not as many stars there. So a lot of times you get the right victory, it just kind of propel you where, say you're fighting in 155, you do have the Dustin Poiriers, you do have the Justin Gaethjes there. So it's pretty difficult for you to leapfrog them, even though you might be somebody like Beneil Dariush who's had 5 or 6 really good wins. Until you beat one of those stars, people aren't really tripping off it. I think on a lot of the female divisions, they're not talent rich. I mean, not talent rich, excuse me. Very talent rich, but they're not star rich.
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to kind of leapfrog because we want to see a new challenger.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I shoot. Be honest with you, I don't think that's just in the women's division. I feel like that's in a lot of different divisions. You know, you name 155, but shit, even the males flyweight, right? You know, they don't have much stars, you know, within that division, bro. So it's easy kind of, you know, skips little spots and steps in order to get to that title. In my personal opinion, shoot, you got.
I mean, if you're talking about like flyweight, I agree. But when you start getting into, here we go. I just got to show you this too.
Yeah, 135. Oh, that's because that haircut, nigga. That's cool.
That shit crazy.
Nah,
and she doing the action scenes and shit. But anyway, you gotta watch. I'm like, I ain't know a man of the month. I ain't know she was an actor first. Anyway, but no, I just think in general that makes it a little bit more tricky for some of the guys. Think about, we talk about the champion now too, Magomed Ankalaev, and we speak about him fighting Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira fought Khalil Rountree, who's number 6. Due to Ankalaev being a little bit less of an exciting style and Khalil being a little bit more of a household name and being a little bit more exciting, he was able to get that fight. And I think sometimes that plays a factor. Mm-hmm. Within women, it just doesn't play a factor as often. You've seen a Felicia Spencer and people that didn't have the biggest names get those title shots, even in debuts where it just doesn't seem to happen for the men. So I think she could do it. But, you know, like I said, you know, not a crazy fight in general, so we can move forward. First fight on the card, probably the most exciting in my opinion. We have Mauricio Ruffy.
Is it Ruffy or Fluffy?
It's Ruffy.
It's Ruffy?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking about
Fluffy
Anthony.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking about.
He defeated King Green.
Is that his real last name though?
I heard it's not. I don't know. He likes One Piece or whatever, and apparently
Luffy.
Yeah. It might have something to do with I don't know my anime like that or manga, whatever you call it. But he defeated King Green via knockout.
My man King, bro.
Take him to the King, as you would say. No, like that. It was incredible. I saw the highlight. It was early in the first round. I looked down. I think I opened a drink or something. I opened a bottle of wine. Look up. Oh, you hear them cheering, and I'm like, what happened? You see Bobby Green with blood. I thought he got kicked in the nuts at first. I'm not kidding. I just saw him on the ground, like face down, to kind of, and next, you know, he got spinning heel kick knocked out. I think that was the first time Bobby Green got knocked out via head kick. He'd never been knocked out by a head kick before. So, what are your thoughts on Ruffy's performance? Him being somebody like King Green, excuse me.
I think it's okay to call him Bobby for right now. But
he says Mama named him Bobby. I'm gonna call him Bobby.
Right. But no, I think it's cool, right? Like I said, I wasn't able to see that amazing knockout because that's exactly what that was. You know, a spinning heel kick. It's not easy to land on nobody, and the way he executed it and the way he landed it, you know. And I mean, I'm talking about just straight on the temple, bro. Heel to temple. Beautiful knockout, bro. You can't, you know what I'm saying, deny that. You know, it might be a contender, you know what I'm saying, of the year type, you know, knockout.
I think
right?
He's a strong chance.
So, but with all that being said, you know, I'm liking what, you know, the Fighting Nerds is doing, right? He coming out of that camp. You know, those guys making a lot of noise. They doing, you know, big things. Man, and his fighting style is so unique too because of just the techniques that he bring. And I really feel like with the MMA game, a lot of people forget about the mixed martial arts part, right? Like the actual traditional arts and shit like that, and how deadly, you know, some of these techniques can be. But you know, it's exciting to see a dude like this, you know, really making some noise, man, and going out there and putting on the show.
No, definitely. He's one who I mentioned in a previous video. People are giving him a lot of likeness to Conor. They thought he had a very similar style with his strikes and his power, and you know how elusive he can be and landing that power with his kicks and his his punches. He looked great last night. I was very impressed what he was able to do. Bobby Green plays that game with the hands down and stuff like that, very aggressive. It looked like he was being a little bit more respectful because he knew the power coming back. You know, it seemed like they both were kind of respecting each other's distance, and then out of nowhere, just that knockout instantly. I guess moving forward, because it's not really nothing to dissect when it's something that perfect. I think it is in a contender for knockout of the year, and probably will be, even though we're just in March. But
we got something cooking. Trust me, we got something cooking to compete with that. But seeing stuff like that, bro, it is so empowering for me as an athlete, right? There's just be like, the realm of what you can do in MMA and mixed martial arts is so evolved, right? I think this is the 5th or the 4th. Actually, no, I think it's the 6th one now. Like you see a lot of guys, attempt the spinning heel kick, but a lot of guys don't land it. But I think this is the 6th knockout that you see with that technique. But I got some shit that's cooking up, man, that's similar to that, but it'd be the first of its, of its own. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to kind of display that and use that against a great opponent that we might be having coming up soon. So we just preparing and getting ready. But stuff like that, bro, that shit get me hyped. You know what I'm saying? So a good competition on the way.
So do you have that in your top 10 as far as knockouts in MMA or maybe kick knockouts?
Kick knockouts. I'll probably say kick knockouts.
At least in the UFC?
And yeah, especially in the UFC. Yeah, with the spinning wheel kick, that's definitely up there. With one of mine with Edson Barboza, even people forget about, Vettori's, spinning heel kick, you know what I mean, against Luke Rocco. Yeah, thank you. But no, that's definitely up there because, like I said, just the setup, the feint into the kick, bro, it was masterful. Yeah.
Perfect. He called out Beneil Dariush. What are your thoughts about that potential matchup?
There's levels to this, there's levels to this. But regardless, though, we see what his striking is about, But with a Beneil Dariush, he gonna mix it up on you, right? And he definitely gonna show you all the things that where your strengths lie, and where your weaknesses lie. So with that being said, I'm definitely up to see it, and you should always hunt down the hardest challenge, and I think Beneil Dariush would be, a great fighter for him to, go after. But you got to make sure that you a whole mixed martial artist, though.
No, I agree. I think,
fighter.
With the fight nerds specifically, their distance control, their accuracy, them being able to implement their game plan on the feet, they're a lot of trouble. Outside of Caio, I've not really seen most of them grapple. That's the only question mark. And when you're fighting a guy like Beneil Dariush, you got to be ready for everything because he has a lot of power. Mm-hmm. His cardio is really good. He has a lot of good grappling with his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. So it'd be very interesting to see. But, they do their homework as good as anybody. But like you said, there are levels to everything. Mm-hmm. So I'd be intrigued. I think it's good that he's trying to go after a tough premier matchup to set himself apart from the crop of his peers, and you have to respect that. How do I think that fight will go? I mean, that remains to be determined. We haven't seen Beneil Dariush in a while. I don't think we've seen him since the knockout against... Yeah. But he lost against Charles Oliveira maybe last... Or was the Armin fight? I can't remember. But he's coming off a loss. Yeah. Who knows how he'll come back? It was
a Charles Oliveira fight.
Yeah. Well, no, he'll come back after that. So,
but that's the thing about
Beneil
Dariush. Thank you. He always training, bro. Like
losing to the best of the best is different than losing to the uppercomers too. That's something that sometimes fight fans don't think of. Oh yeah. Next topic. I just want to give a quick shout out to, I don't want to butcher their names, Jordan Santos and Ozzy Diaz. It was a prelim. It was the first fight on the card. If those guys were a little bit more famous, they might have been the fight of the night instead of obviously Fiziev and Gaethje with the slot that they're in, and for them to deliver on a main card with not a lot of excitement.
Right.
Obviously they got it, but those two gentlemen were banging.
Right.
A lot of excitement.
Yeah.
As you say, good CTE. They were getting
good
after
exchange, right? At the end of the day, somebody trying to go home with more than just $10K.
Yeah.
Right. So at the end of the day, it's just that's why you see those type of fights, right? Because guys trying to make their name, right? Yeah. Guys are trying to be seen. They're trying to make some noise. So that's why it's always a good idea to watch the prelims, bro. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Your favorite fighter once was a prelim fighter. Mm-hmm. Everybody is a rite of passage for you to be a marquee fighter. You probably start on the prelims. Very few people come from another promotion and just start on
the main card.
Yeah, right. So that doesn't happen. But those two guys, they had a hell of a fight. I just want to highlight them.
Shout out
they
to
did
them.
not get the bonuses. Mm-hmm. The bonuses went to Ruffy, Bahamondes, and then Gaethje and Fiziev. All got that 50,000. Segueing two fights on the card got canceled the day of. We had Curtis Blades and I can't even pronounce the dude's name. I've been trying to do it all week.
The dude that fell out?
Rizvan Kunaev. It was Blades who actually ended up getting sick.
Really?
He said he thinks he had norovirus. I couldn't tell you. That's the second time that fight has been made. And then Chris Gutierrez.
I was really about to say something like that. Keep that nigga from stuttering. I'll quit.
Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. Hopefully I got those names right too. That fight got canceled the day of it too. I guess my question is, were you excited for either one of those fights? And do you think that the UFC should rebook it, especially I guess Blades and Kunaev?
Right.
That was the second time that fight was canceled.
Oh wow.
That's the second.
You know, I'm always gonna be as much as I keep fucking with Curtis Blades. I'm a big fan of Curtis Blades. But I don't know much about this other dude that's coming off the Dana White Contender Series. You know, but he got a lot of hype behind him. You know, they say he a dangerous dude. So you know, my thing is, you know, it's just. Regardless, I don't know why he keep trying to go after Curtis Blades. If Curtis Blades is unable to fight for whatever reason, to find another fighter.
Yeah, I
right?
think he was sick both times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he realized it was as serious as it was, and I think he just couldn't shake whatever it is, you know. And then John Castaneda, similar situation. He ended up getting sick the day of. I guess my question also is, I've been noticing a little bit this being more of a trend as of late, where there's more cancellations the day of. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that is something that is avoidable? Do you think that fighters should either cancel before, you know, because if you already know your body's not really filling up to par, like, what are your thoughts on that, being a fighter?
It's just not being ready for a fight?
No. So two guys end up getting sick the day of.
Yes.
Do you feel like you owe it to your opponent and to the promotion to probably tell them before, hey, I'm not feeling well, we'll see how this goes? Or are you okay with people kind of pulling out, you know, the day of? You being a fighter, on
a fighter note, I'm sorry, you know when you not, you incapable, you know. But the day of, I done already weighed in. I'm a nigga, you know what I'm saying? I got a runny nose, nigga. We going out there, right? It's just like, it's not even for them. Fuck the promotion, fuck the fans, fuck the fighter. like I done put in all this training, I done put in all this time in. I already made the sacrifice to step on that scale, bro. I'm going out there to fight. You know what I'm saying? Wheezing like a motherfucker. I'm going out there to fight, you know? So as a fighter on my own, yeah, that's the decision I would make, for sure.
I respect it. I agree. I think that, well, I think to your opponent, I think that's the only, and to the promotion, the fans a little bit, I think if you know you're not feeling up to snuff, that you do, somebody dedicated 6 weeks of their life, expecting a paycheck, a lot of times they don't get paid. The days you put in all that time, you work with your coaches, your team, everybody's expecting to eat because it's business at the end of the day, and you're not able to deliver, and also you're hurting the other person on the other side where maybe they can get an opponent, they can't feed their families if they do get that opponent 2 or 3 days. You know, you give somebody like Justin Gaethje the opportunity to fight Fiziev or something of that nature, but you wait till the day of, it's probably not going to happen.
No. And if you, like I said, I thought that was the question, like wait until the day of?
Yeah, those two guys canceled the day of.
Yeah, no.
Blades, it was canceled the day of, and then John Castaneda.
No, we just gonna have to run it, bro. Yeah.
Moving forward, there was a Hall of Fame induction. Robbie Lawler is now a member of the UFC Hall of Fame.
Congrats, yes sir.
Congratulations. Just what are your thoughts, being somebody who's watched Robbie Lawler, you know, seeing him, what are some of the characteristics that you feel like characterize Robbie Lawler as a fighter, and your thoughts about him going to the Hall of Fame?
I think it's dope, right? You talking about a guy that's been doing this shit since he was, you know, a young buck himself, you know what I mean, at 17. Not even, you know, that far across the water training, you know what I'm saying, at the in Granite City with Matt Hughes and them, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he got a lot of history here. But, you know, I think it's amazing for, you know, him to be able to see that and be able to, you know, pretty much go back into memory lane, you know what I'm saying, all the stuff that he was able to accomplish, all the things he was able to do. And then the thing that I feel like he definitely instilled in myself when I watched this fight is that ruthless part, you know what I mean? Just really going out there and just thugging it out and just going out there biting down on that mouthpiece and fighting. So, yeah, shout out to him.
Is there a particular fight that you find to be your favorite of Robbie Lawler's? Any particular moment or fight?
Actually, that's a good question. I think it's the Rory McDonald and him, you know what I'm saying, when they fought each other, bro. I think that was a hell of a battle. I still remember, you know what I'm saying, when he broke Buddy Nose, boom, you know what I'm saying, and he's standing there with all that, you know, a mouthful of blood and stuff like that, and they just staring at each other down and shit. That shit was pretty dope, you know what I mean? So I say the Rory McDonald fight and him was pretty dope.
A legendary fight. Mine is Melvin Manoff and Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, that was a good one too. But you know how I feel about Melvin.
No, but I love that's what I'm saying. Melvin Manoff being arguably the most vicious fighter that I've ever seen in MMA. Came to kill or be killed mentality. 100%. Came to finish everybody. Robbie was not taking the best of it in the beginning, but showed his true character as a fighter, all the heart and him being ruthless to get that finish. And then a moment that always sticks out, you fought Logan Storley in Bellator. Robbie Lawler was fresh off winning the title. I think Tyron might have gotten the title at that time, but him at the top of the business, came up to us afterwards and was very respectful and shook everybody's hand and the backstage and gave us some words of encouragement for you, before you kind of got to whatever. That shows the character when you're on top of the game, that you still show respect to those who are people who aren't on the same level as you. So I just always thought that was an awesome moment for Robbie Lawler, being such a, cool, humble guy. So I just got to say shout out to him for that. And then I guess moving forward, the last thing, next week we have Marvin Vettori, one of your favorite friends. Apparently, he got the N-word pass, right?
No. Yeah, I'm giving him a pass on his ass, nigga, when I see this.
Fighting Roman Dolidze, finish it up. I guess, what are your thoughts about this rematch? Do you think the fight will be different from the first time? What are your
Roman won that fight, didn't he?
I think Marvin won. I could double check.
Yeah, double check for me.
I think Marvin Vettori won the first one.
But regardless, though, both two cavemen fighting each other, bro. So it's gonna be a fun fight to watch, though. At the end of the day, what does it do for either one of them? I think it's just like I said, an ego thing, right? Being able to, be like, hey, I got this one back, or what I'm saying, hey, bro, I did it again.
Marvin Vettori won the first.
Right. So I did it again, type shit. So, but I don't really see how this fight's moving them up. To really, push anything. Because what does Roman Dolidze say again? Like 7, 8, something.
I would have to
and Marvin down there too now.
Yeah, they're I think middleweight is one of those weight classes where it's like it's gonna be tough to get a belt right now. With you seeing Hamzat doing what he's doing, and then I think there's another contender there. It's just kind of at the top. There's a lot of a big
right. You got not Roman. You got Nasruddin.
Nasruddin, excuse me. Yeah.
You got now what's the other boy name?
What, Fluffy, kind of in the mix.
Yeah.
So until you beat one of those guys, you're probably not gonna get a title shot anyway. I don't really remember the first fight. I do remember Marvin winning. It probably was a kickboxing match. I really don't remember. I think that the fight probably goes fairly similar. I think if Roman can try to be a little bit more quick and not just rely on power in this fight, I think he has a good chance. And changing tempos and mixing up pace, I think that makes the fight better for him. And I think for Marvin, if he can go out and get a big victory and a finish, maybe remind people of the Marvin Vettori who was fighting the Israel Adesanyas and fighting at the top of the division. It seems like the division is kind of past him, and we don't look at him as being that contender that we once did. So I think that this can make either guy relevant with the big finish because you need it at this stage.
Right. To make some noise, you need to finish for sure.
In the middle of the division right now, you need that. So I think it could be great for both of their careers, especially with there being some congestion. I mean, the fight's gonna happen regardless, and I think they're the main event for next week. I'm pretty sure. So.
Oh, it's next week. Yeah.
So
okay.
does this fight excite you at all?
Not like I said, they both cool dudes, when it comes to the fight game. But like for me, they not the type of guys where I'm tuning in to watch their fights. That's just me, right? But regardless though, hey, shout out to the best man to win, me and Marvin, we'll sell our business when I'm out there in Vegas, you hear me? For sure.
Well, I thought I'd get your thought on it, when you and Marvin having your brief
interaction.
No,
see, I would say this, right? Like people want to put things too much into, like, when I see them is when I see them.
Of course.
Right? Like, it ain't got to be this whole, like, crazy little makeup, because, like, we are going to have a discussion, but I want to train with Buddy, right? I want to give him that sparring work he was looking for, right? That whole time when he was out there in Vegas and when I had my fight coming up against Alex Pereira, I ain't give him that work. But I'm going to bless him.
Why didn't you help him prepare for Dolidze?
I could have.
He just didn't give you that call?
He didn't give me that call. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm out there, I'll be out there International Fight Week. Right? No, I'm going to let this be.
Yeah.
We're going to be out there International Fight Week, right? Anybody that's willing to get the work, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be fresh because obviously we ain't got no fight lined up yet, right? So until then, we can catch that work with anybody who down to work, who trying to clock in.
Hey, there you have it. Open invitation to anybody. International Fight Weekend to get to work here with the new man.
We got to show a lot of people that at the end of the day, man, this is the mixed martial arts game. This is the combat sport. So no matter what you do, you can always learn and benefit by sparring and getting that work in, Because I feel like, man, there's a lack of potential within the PI that we don't really utilize. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Kyle, we did it, right? But I think more guys should do that. You know what I'm saying? Get it on tape, you know what I mean? And just collect some good.
You kind of got it on tape, but yeah.
Nah, yeah, I kind of. You funny as hell for that one. Kyle got his image. Yeah. I got a finger, you know what I'm saying, blocking my shit, who was recording my shit, you know what I mean? Shout out to Themba. But anyways, though, I really feel like, you know, since we talking about it, I want that to be more of a common thing of UFC athletes, you know, really working with each other, man, and really like, okay, let's say, yes, you got potential fights that could be made, but if you really want to challenge yourself or, you know, just be able to work with different styles and different looks, bro, going to Vegas, man, and speaking to whoever, because everybody training, everybody working out, everybody doing shit, you know what I'm saying? But everybody just work with their own little clicks. Like, let's use this opportunity to kind of use the PI as a pretty much as a hub, you know what I'm saying, to go and get some work in, right? I don't think people utilize that space like they should.
No, I agree. I think fighters aren't necessarily the most mature. You see during training camp for football, you'll see the Detroit Lions go play with the Cleveland Browns, or you'll see the Green Bay Packers go to the Buffalo Bills, and they'll have a week of practices potentially, and they'll go against some other really top level talent to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And MMA, I don't know if we're mature enough for that. You know, the sport. I don't know. I don't know if the athletes are mature enough to do it to want to work with. And I know what you're talking about.
Work is work. So it's just okay, right?
No, but hold on. As somebody as a fighter, do you think that a lot of athletes are confident enough to go see the things that they actually need to work on with a crop of their peers?
It's sad to say, but no, a lot are not, right? And that's why you're gonna be in a position where you're not gonna be able to grow, or you're going to get exposed in front of, you know, millions at home, right? That's why I love doing what I do, because I'd rather get exposed in the gym than exposed in the octagon all the time, right? And that's why people going to always see my level of evolution, because I don't mind going to gyms where, yet again, I don't feel like I'm the best, right? But I'm always going to learn. I'm always going to evolve. And I feel like with the MMA work that I'm talking about, it's just like guys think that sparring, right, should always be like tap. Like, bro, sparring should be like damn near you stepping into the octagon, you know? And if you're not able to prepare yourself and be able to know the defenses in the sparring realm and actually treating it like a real fight, then that's why you got people that go to war. This is my personal opinion. That's why you get guys that go back and forth, fight a night type shit like that, because they don't really get that work in sparring. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have good defense. That's why they get touched a lot and shit like that. You know, and then people that are scared or tentative to be in an actual fight and shit like that, right? That's where sparring is for, to kind of simulate a real fight so you can be more comfortable with putting yourself in a position like that. So, you know, I think sparring is one of the things that's not utilized in the correct way in MMA still to this day.
Well, there you have it. No, I can't disagree with you. I think that you spoke to a lot, but I'm just saying, regardless of that factor, on the opposite side of that coin too, we talk maturity. Some guys are afraid that if you give somebody a little bit of what you do well, then the guy will figure it out, and then I won't have my advantage too. But I'm always one of those people who preach, if you're really good at something, doesn't matter if somebody knows it's coming, you still will be supreme with, you know, in what you do.
100%, bro. Who the great names that we always talked about, you know, Habib, right? Everybody knew what that boy was going to do, you know what I'm saying? They still couldn't stop it. But I would say this, like, even for myself, I want to start now documenting more of my sparring and just be able to promote myself in the best way I know how, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't get to really see the best version of me, because the best version of myself is in that cage, in the octagon, or is doing my training. But I was always like, man, I want to show these boys what I'm doing. But the thing is, though, like, I know that in my heart they can't stop what I'm doing, because I'm always changing and I'm always forever like getting better, right? I think that the only thing that I would be doing if I'm exposing my workouts is giving gyms, right? And allowing guys to learn for their own benefit of what they can change up and what they can make different. You know what I'm saying? But me showing my sparring and showing me like, I got fights out there they can look at. You know what I'm saying? I got all type of shit. You know what I mean? So it really don't even fucking matter.
And that's what I was gonna say too, just to close it out. It's your job as a fighter to prepare the way that you need to get in shape. The tactics of a fight should vary depending on what you and your coaching staff see as viable options against a particular opponent. So even if I'm doing things, if you have a competent group of coaches and you're a really good fighter, you guys should be able to devise a game plan with elements of surprises, things to change up tempo, ranges, speeds, and tactics that differ from sparring. So, like I said, I don't think MMA has evolved to that point yet where people are mature enough to look at it that way. But one day in the future, I agree with you, that should be more of a
we cooking right now. Me and my brother Phil Rowe, we cooking right now.
There we go. I think that does it for this one. Thank you for watching another episode of Brick Brothers Podcast. Please like, share, subscribe. Be a brick.